Are you an injured party? I think that so many of you out there, Westerners, come from broken marriages, broken relationships. Some, of course, have become widows, but in the majority, those that come here are often from broken relationships. And with that comes a long history of bitterness, of disappointment, and a feeling of bewilderment as to why did it happen to me. We often can reflect on our relationships just like I can, where you worked hard to build up a beautiful home in a nice area. You benefited by the capital gain of the area going ahead. You got in at the right time, and the house that you bought for 50,000 has suddenly now grown to 3, 4, 500,000, and you might have put in another 20 to 50,000 renovating it and making it into a really nice home, only to have that relationship fail. I often wonder whether these relationships are doomed at the start of when you suddenly suggest that we start buying and selling houses and that our family home is our best asset. And therefore, it sort of rings a bell maybe with your ex-wife or partner that suddenly they're going to be in a position to be a 50% shareholder in a windfall. And we work nights, we work extra shifts, and we buy materials. We get extra guys to help us in, even maybe our mates to help put that driveway down or do the fencing together, have a bit of a big barbecue to celebrate doing it. Only a few months later to have the house put on the market and sold. The feeling of despair that a man goes through as much as a woman, but more so a man, because for the man he often doesn't suspect that this is about to happen. And when it comes down to the crunch, he might have had to leave the family home because the children are still at home with him, maybe adult children. And it seems so unfair that what is in law a 50-50 deal suddenly gets chiseled down to, in many cases, to almost zero for the husband, and the woman walks away with all the spoils. Now, that is quite a common occurrence in the West, and therefore I'm going to have to chase the dog out because it's making a lot of noise while I'm trying to do a video. But the thing is that as desperate as it might be for us all to be in that position, I think a lot of us who come here and make a decision to find an Asian lady, a Filipina in particular, have come from that sort of background. And everything is sort of linked. You know, like your home, your insurance policies, your superannuation often is linked to that house. And in the West also, there's a feeling that you've signed over insurance policies to benefit your wife and children in the event of you dying. But there never really is necessarily the same application to one's retirement fund, because often that is the one that goes first. When the house goes, everything falls apart because the man stops working often, or he loses heart in doing it. What's the point? You know, what's the point? She's left me. I can't see my kids. They've chosen to go one way or the other. Because not only does a family, when they break up, husband and wife or long-time partner, the children of that situation are tug of war effects. some of them will come and see you, but it's never quite the same, because they will tend to go with whichever party they feel the loyalty goes to. If they grew up with the father working hard and he wasn't home much, the mother will become the centre, and they tend to go with the mum. And the mum has a very powerful pull on the children. She can say all sorts of terrible things. I myself have never tried to rubbish an ex or a mother of my children, simply because I just don't think it's morally right. But many do. The wives use the children as a weapon against the ex-husband, and they will happily destroy them with the help of a good lawyer. And when you rub your hands together and say, I've had enough, I want to come to the Philippines and find a real woman, somebody who's loyal to me, somebody who will look after me when I'm old, and we will be able to die together in a much, much, much nicer environment, and no more of the stress of the past. Well, of course, that's again a little bit of the bubble effect. We have to be just as cautious next time round here in the Philippines, just as much as anywhere else, because don't think that for 1 minute that Filipino women don't think in the same light. If they see an opportunity, women the world over have sort of almost banded together with the idea that they're the group of victims, and they have a right to seek compensation from the man. So one can understand the caution that many men feel they need to apply here, even in the Philippines, when they embark on a relationship for the remaining future of their lives. When you're younger, of course, the situation is a little different, because you have time to adjust your life from the Western way to the Filipino way with a younger person, and therefore you will tend to grow up together more closely than those who come here and have a younger wife and they're much older than them. So don't lose heart. We're all in the same boat, and well, most of us are anyway. And thank goodness that we have at least a good pension to retire on and have a good life here in the Philippines. And I encourage anybody who wants to come to the Philippines to give it a go, because it's a new start. It's a bit like when you first met your wife and everything seemed rosy. The honeymoon is about to start. Just like you'd probably like to silence the dog as well, like I would. But anyway, if you like this, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. Bye now.